Kosten Amadeo Bagnis. Er kommt ins Ziel. Der dritte Ausleger. Ja, Arnold kommt.
BMW IBSF World Championships Bobsleigh and Skeleton 2024 in Winterberg, Germany, presented by Veltins. Second heat coming up of the men's skeleton competition. A 4-heat race spread over 2 days. The World Championships and the Olympics are the only races with that format. And Martin Haven with Mike Rogels watching the action. After the first heat, a big battle between 3rd and 8th or 9th place. Felix Kaisinger at the head of it.
Yeah, no, it's been surprisingly tight for this track. Well, not, I guess this track is normally tight, but it's a bit of a gap between first, second, and then 3rd through 8th.
Yeah, Kaisinger 38 hundredths off the lead. Matt Weston, the reigning world champion, 3 hundredths off the lead.
Quite a bit closer. Yeah, a good looking first run. Strong start, like always, so we'll see what he can do in run 2.
Yeah, he was the second man on ice as the track deteriorated in the consistent rain. The first man out of the start shed, Christopher Grotehair, 2-time world, 1-time Olympic champion, and he is our race leader after the first of the 4 heats.
Yeah, just always looks good. Everywhere, all the time. He's just usually a masterclass in sliding.
Pretty relaxed, pretty chilled, smiles a lot more these days as well. He always used to look quite tense. I think that's, you know, all part of his maturity on the sled, in the sport, and his growing speed. But there is a big battle behind that, quite a log jam in the 10 to 20 battle as well. Lots of very, very close squabbles. The fastest 25 will go through tomorrow after heat 3. So if you're behind Adrian Rodriguez now, you need to turn on the afterburners. But the fastest 25 go first. So 26 to 30 go on potentially even slower ice again, further extending the difficulty of getting in. So Adrian Rodriguez, 25th place, will go first. 25 down to 1, and then 26 to 30.
Yeah, those guys at the back are going to have their work cut out for them to try and move up a spot.
Really are. They might have to hope for much harder conditions tomorrow. It should be less wet tomorrow, so it might be a bit colder and a bit faster. Grotehair goes off 25th. Timon Drahanovsky goes off 26th, trying to get into that lead group.
Yeah, so I forgot to mention first run. Audrey and I went karting last night.
Oh, yeah.
2 nights ago. And he absolutely destroyed me. So he can... On a sled, I think it's kind of toss-up. On a cart, he just absolutely destroyed me. So
4:99 getaway to get us underway. 400s quicker than his first heat. Now he's got the advantage of better ice, in all likelihood, than all of the remaining sliders coming together. So that's the thing. When you reverse the field, you try and close it all up before day 2.
Super important to be right where he is as compared to those other guys. He's looking pretty tidy here on his the first bit.
3 years of sliding, and for Etienne, this is his second World Championships. Made his debut last year in Samoritz.
A little bit of a skid, kind of fighting a little bit down at the bottom of the track. But looking, I think, much better than his first run.
Yeah.
This is going to be a little bit... Okay, no, he steered hard to bring it back under control. Speed's pretty low from what we'd expect.
Yeah, we saw 125, 126 in the first heat. Now, whether we see that in the second heat, only time's going to tell. Yeah, we can guess, but at the best, it's just a wild stab in the dark. You don't know what the track's doing. Has not really stopped raining. It's sort of just stopped raining. Outside talking to a few of the friends and family, some of Axel Jung's friends and family. Matt Weston's family, Marcus Wyatt's family are here. Matt Weston's mum and dad are here as well. So there's a few fans and friends, and that's the World Championship delight, is that people make the effort to come because it's the Worlds. It's not a regular race.
Exactly. It's just a little bit special, and by a little bit I mean a lot.
A lot, yeah, exactly.
So it's just different. Yeah.
Hard cross over there.
Hard cross from 12 to 13.
And again, you see as he's trying to turn, the legs swinging out, the skids really
if you
skidding
have that entrance and you don't do anything, he's flying off the end, possibly flipping.
There's the Weston family. Not quite as raucous as the Yarny Army, but they do their best.
I had never noticed Blake's headshot before, and it's funny. It's fantastic.
And Blake's helmet is great as well. The blue skies and the wheatfield plains of Alberta, his home province. 5:01 getaway. Again, 500s quicker, so maybe the start is just a little more free running.
Also looked a little bit better from 0 to 1 than he did in his first run.
Again, less rain means it will be less of an aquaplaning. Well,
I mean, yeah, we said that.
so make me a liar, why don't you?
Yeah. A little bit of a skid there to 5. Not 5. No bone's broken.
Well, one of the first
yeah, it
things,
was 5.
One of the first things you learn when you're doing this sport, walking around on ice at the bottom, is that if it's raining, the ice is super slippery.
Got to put on the spikes.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just as treacherous for the runners. Little skids here as well.
Yeah. A little bit loose, but he's handling it very well. Let's see how his time compares to his first run.
Right, 59.13 first heat, 58.14, so not a second quicker, just 99 hundredths quicker.
Yeah. It's not bad.
And that's
quite
a big
lot.
improvement.
That's quite a lot.
Some of that will be him.
Better.
How much of that is track? I mean, who knows? And by the end of the heat, who knows? Because it'll be a different track by the time we get to Christopher Grotehead, the leader.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to just see how much he rises compared to anyone around him, right? Because if he just starts rising through after people that were behind him or ahead of him first run, then we know he had a good one.
Absolutely.
So a little bit late to 4 maybe, but that was a little late or a little too early to 9. Got bumped away a little bit, but he handled it very well. So we'll see. There is an 11. It's pretty chattery in 11 this week. If you're trackside, you can really hear the sleds.
Yeah. Getting a few fist bumps on the way. Next up is one of our debutantes. First World Championships ever for 21-year-old Swiss Livio Summermatter. In 2020 on home ice in St. Moritz, he was the Youth Olympic bronze medalist in skeleton. 491, so we know he's got pedigree.
A little bit of a skid there from coming out of 0, but he fixed it pretty quick. A little bit kind of late parallel to 2, which gives you a little bit of a spike in height and throws away some speed usually. We'll see.
21, Youth Olympian, still young, but 11th best starter in the field. I mean, those are all the things that as a coach you go, gimme. Give me 5 years with this kid, he'll be winning medals.
Absolutely. He's got a bright future in the sport.
Yeah.
Speed's a little bit down.
Yep. 90.9 for Blake Ensley there, 90.4 for Livio Summermatter.
A little bit over 9. So is Blake.
2400s up still, and the speed is a little closer to the Canadian now. This is going to be close, still 2100s up, second best speed. Blake was only 0.4 of a kilometre an hour quicker. Yes, has it, 58.13, so 100th quicker. He's added to his advantage over Blake Ensley by a whole 100th.
Yeah, nice. He's happy with the run.
Absolutely.
Maybe the time, I don't know, but I thought it was pretty good.
Well, look, again, you know, nearly a full second quicker. You would have felt that at every corner down the bottom,
absolutely.
won't you?
Especially when you get to the high pressure curves. This is what I was talking about. He had a little bit of something, and then he just fixed it quick.
Yeah, just a little
And
kick against the wall, go away.
Yeah, I mean, it's, yeah. He's, the instincts are there. The push is there. He's just got to get some more reps.
Experience.
Repetition.
Yep.
And
Hub Sweets, exactly. Didn't bring the cowbell down. Right, that's for tomorrow. Colin Freeling now for Belgium. Working with the British skeleton team.
yeah, he's been coming along all year, like looking better every time I see him. So, see what he can do here.
21 years old and already in his 3rd World Championships. 30th on his debut in Altenburg 2021. 29th last year in St. Moritz.
A little bit of a struggle with the groove. He skidded into 1, kind of like power sliding. A little bit of a skid on the entrance of curve 1. So 0 before.
Yeah.
A little bit wavy. So things are struggling a little bit right now.
And the lowest velocity we've seen so far, but he did have the slowest sprint as well.
Yeah, it looked like the groove really tried to yank him to the right, slider's right, and he brought it back.
Right now, struggling to hold his advantage.
I like that entrance Kreisel, though. He's got good speed.
All right, Livio Summermatter and Blake Ensley at the moment, both ahead of him on the split times, but
9. Speed is he's still holding. He had a good Kreisel.
Yeah, quickest of all.
Looking pretty smooth through the bottom.
I see the Bromley sled as well. Your eyes can probably tell you.
I think he's on. It's not Bromley. It'd probably be a Googie.
Yeah, 58.35. So first heat, 58.69. And again, 0.3 of a second, 3,400 quicker. That's a big improvement.
I think that's Schneider, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, a little bit high on that first wave, but he really carried the speed through, so I don't think it's necessarily a problem. And here, this was a little bit of a problem.
Yeah.
But sometimes you can actually take that entrance, and as long as you're super relaxed, it just puts the height exactly where it needs to be, and you can get quite some speed at the bottom.
Yeah, he's enjoying himself, isn't he? Third World Championships, Colin Freeling, just 21 years of age. Next up for France, Lucas Defaye. Defaye, 26. Made his debut in the World Champs last year in St. Moritz. Max Robert there. Daniel Schletter on the right-hand side, part of the race jury for the IBSF. Swiss veteran, overseeing things at the start area.
Luca has been coming along for a long time. He's been sliding for a bit of time. That's struggling a bit through zero. He's another slider who's just getting better. He just needs some time to mature. Not mature, but like mature as a slider, not as a person.
Absolutely.
He's a wonderful person.
Building at his advantage, 2,500s up at the start, 4,500s over Colin Freeling right now.
I like that entrance of 5, nice and smooth into 6.
I got to say, and you'll see this, what I mean when he takes his helmet off, looks like a Formula One driver.
Actually, yeah, 100%.
Just putting that out there. 5,400s up.
Yeah,
it's a nice looking slide from Defaye.
Just a touch too early to 9, but otherwise, this is, yeah. Okay, so speed's back a little bit.
Those at home, keep track of who isn't early into 9 in this.
Oh, it's such a hard entrance to hit.
5,200s up, big run from Lucas Defaye, 57.91. First heat, 58.67. So 0.7 of a second better. That's a really big run.
Yeah, he looked really clean through the upper part of the track, other than some issues at zero, but that's everybody.
Yeah. Zero was built to make issues.
Yeah, pretty much.
Now, if he's not racing a Formula One Ferrari,
look at that.
He looks like he's racing a Formula One Ferrari. I'm just saying that.
Somebody get that guy a car.
Yeah. We ain't going to earn it in this sport, no. But a 4,600 advantage over Colin Freeling. This is a really nice second heat from Luca. Very good. And the high fives there. Defaye leading after the first 5 sleds. Coach Andy Schmidt with the sled for Alexander Schlintner. Andy Schmidt, very successful skeleton slider in his own right in the early days. Multiple medalist, 3 silver medals in World Championship racing.
It's quite the experience, quite the pedigree.
Yeah. And you know, at the head of the British program for so many successful years. 5 flat start for the first heat for Alex. 5 flat again. And gets nice and straight out of zero.
A little bit kind of early to 1. It gets away, but it's a very acceptable entrance to 2. A little bit wavy in 2. So you look to see him start falling back, possibly. I mean, a lot of the guys have been, it's a little bit early to 4. No, that's fine. He handles it very well.
1,700s up. Let's see what he's got as he comes out of the Kreisel. Does he build speed in this corkscrew turn?
Yeah, he is building.
Right.
This is
2/10 up.
It's just, again, a little bit.
Yeah.
So it looks like maybe he might have overdriven or missed his line a little bit. His speed's dropping off a little bit.
Well, this is where Lucas Defaye made his speed at the bottom, and Alex Schlintner is going to struggle to hold on. It could be to the 100th of a second at the line. 100 in it. 57.97 slide. A smile from Andy Schmidt. Been there, done that, seen that countless times. And that's the nature of this track. It's hundreds of a second, dead heats, so familiar.
Yeah, this track is, it being short, and everybody's been here a few times normally. It's kind of, it makes some close racing.
Hard to make a difference. Yeah. You saw he looked pretty frustrated with that, and I think the bottom half of the track did not go the way he wanted. See you tomorrow.
Yeah. Upwards of Kreisel, I thought he looked pretty good. From Kreisel down, things started to fall apart.
Race of 2 halves, so often the case here. Next up for the USA, Dan Barefoot, 15th fastest starter in the field, came down in 20th spot. Again, not wildly experienced. 2 previous race weekends here in the Intercontinental Cup.
Yeah, Dan's been working a lot on his start. It's coming along. I know I said that the first run, but it's true. Like, he's really put a lot of effort into it. I spent a couple of seasons on tour with Dan when he was really starting to learn how to slide, so it's nice to see him making so much progress.
5:02 getaway, so he's
pretty late into 2.
Yeah, pretty small advantage as well over Alex Schlintner of just 11 hundredths of a second. That's gone away.
Yeah. Okay. So he's back online, but we'll see. That entrance of 2 can really, like, take literally 3/10 out of your run.
Yep.
So.
And again, lower speed means a bit more wavy in the Chrysler because you can't afford to try and hold the line.
The height just doesn't quite carry around as far.
And I'm sure you know when you come in, you haven't got the speed that you can force it to stay up. You've got to let it follow gravity.
You have to. I mean, you can try if you're running super sharp runners, but hopefully none of these guys are sharp runners today.
Drops a couple, a 10th back, 58.18 slide for Dan Barefoot.
Yeah, just a little bit of a rough run.
And the problem now is that Alex Schlintner, the leader, and Lucas Defay in second are just 100th apart. Effectively, that's 2 sleds on the same time, because the chances of you getting in between them are 0. So you're going to tie with one or the other, beat them both, or drop behind them both. So it's 2-spot jeopardy, isn't it?
I'd never thought of it that way, but yeah, absolutely.
Just introducing that as a phrase, 2-spot jeopardy. Make a note on the Bobsleigh bingo card.
Pretty hard to sliders right, and the thing is, you want to be moving to the left, so you can make this nice long arc around 0. And yeah, it's just, he did a good job managing it, but it's a little too high at the end. That's what we talked about when you don't have the speed. You have that 3rd rise a little bit later in Kreisel, and it drops you.
Every day's a school day in this sport as every other. So you take away something and bring back tomorrow with a different game plan. Next up, Vincent Boeuf of Switzerland. Again, 2nd World Cup for him. World Cup, World Championships for him.
Yeah, quite the glider.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Long, lean, thin. I mean, he's the ideal physiognomy really for the sport, if there is such a thing.
Yeah, small cross section in terms of like wind
frontal
resistance.
Area,
yeah, frontal area, and then you can carry some weight behind it, and
That's why Formula 1 cars are narrow at the front and fatter at the back. Like a dart.
There you go.
Yeah, frontal area is everything.
Yeah. It's looking pretty smooth so far.
Yeah.
A little bit, maybe too much cross too early into Kreisel, but it's carrying the top speed so far. We'll see how that looks here.
Had 2500s, has 2400s in the second heat.
So at least maintaining.
Yeah. Pretty much even Stevens with Alex Schlintner all the way down here now.
All the way now. This is where Alex had the problems in the second run. So
Vincent's nice exit as well, 45. So he's added 2 tenths below the Kreisel. That's really good.
Good for him.
57.77. That is the equal 11th fastest run of the competition so far.
And most importantly, he proved my point of him being a good glider. So it makes me sound like I know what I'm doing.
Hey. As I always say, even a stop clock is right twice a day. I'm still going, once.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a really nice looking run, and as a result, the speed was there, the time was there. The more it looks like they're fighting the sled, the more they are fighting the sled.
Yeah, no, he didn't look like he was struggling for lines on this run, so. And like you said before, fantastic hair.
Yeah. Are we saying sideshow, Bob?
I did, yeah.
Yeah, not me.
Yeah.
I love it. Rasmus Johansson next for Denmark. 15th fastest starter, came down 17th spot, so there's definitely work that he can be doing here.
Yeah, Rasmus has been working hard, and I want to say he exploded onto the scene, but he really didn't. He's been putting in the work for a few years now.
Yeah. And that's the thing, overnight sensation when you arrive in World Cup, but you spend years becoming an overnight sensation.
4 to 5 years laying the groundwork to make that, to come in like that.
5 flat, again, another strong start.
Does a good job handling 0. He had a little too much cross into curve 2, which sets up these waves that you're kind of seeing, but he's not struggling He's not really fighting too hard against the sled. Maybe a little too much work in from 45. He's maintaining his speed's down. He must have been doing more than I thought somewhere. Like the lines are good, but for the speed to be down, he's got to be pretty stiff. That's a pretty okay entrance. A little bit of a skid though into 9.
Third best speeds, still quarter second up. Let's see what he's got getting into the lower elements. 2200s, that's enough to take him to the line.
There, 126. That's
not going to build a huge advantage, but he at least holds steady. 57.84. Okay, so 700 slower than Vincent Spoof, but
he struggled a little bit in the top, but then he absolutely built a bunch of speed to have the almost top speed after being down on speed pretty earlier in the run.
Like the way like the Germans do.
Yeah, kind of. Weird how it works, right?
There you go. Yeah, never mind up to 11. After this, we tell you how to be fast.
He was, 0.1K down on the fastest. So, yeah.
Oh, again, look at that.
Yeah, that groove
swiveling the hips, getting the legs out there. It's the whole thing, trying to rotate the sled a tiny bit.
Yeah.
And again, steering with the head, the instinct is to lean your head into the line, and that really works because at 60, 70, 80 miles an hour.
You lean your head, it pulls
really
on your neck muscles, which pull on your shoulder bones a little bit.
But also, you put your hand out the car window, you know
absolutely.
how much at speed on.
Absolutely, yeah.
It makes a difference. 400s is the difference now for Kim Ji-soo of Korea. Tiny margin we're getting into here over Rasmus Johansson. And that can come and go even before you get to the zero curve.
470.
Oh, that's a big start.
Oh.
400's quicker.
That's a nice middle parallel entrance to 2.
So he goes out to 3,200s ahead of Rasmus Johansson.
That's a mistake. Okay.
He hits a lot on the way down in the first heat.
Yeah, we'll see. That tap between 3 and 4, kind of, and then the speed's gone.
Yes, there's the telltale in the Kreisel. You know it's coming, and there you get the confirmation.
So that tap between 3 and 4, he probably had to steer pretty hard in 4 to get the entrance of 5 that he wanted. And it's just...
Yeah. And 1600's up there, you can lose a quarter second in the rest of it, and he's going to, isn't he?
Yeah.
6th best speed, he's regaining a little, maybe not enough. Not quite. Your ball. I could see a little bit of passion in the leader's box.
Yeah, everybody's too worried about, making enemies.
No.
Be happy when you do well.
Yeah, exactly. And he didn't get hurt, so, that's the thing.
Never want that.
So Kim Ji-soo, 579 getaway. 479, I beg your pardon. That's a very rapid start.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, just 2 or... Yeah. Oh, that took a lot out of the start. That's where the speed went. I may have miscalled that. This little tap that he took between 3 and 4 probably didn't.
Well, 479, fastest start of the competition so far.
Too bad he threw away probably 1/10 worth of that on the entrance of 0.
Rasmus Johansson leads after the first 10 sleds. So next up, with the colours of China on his helmet, Chen Wenhao. Chen, 7th of our starters, but had a really disappointing first run.
Yeah, he's pretty loose here, from all the way from the start groove to entrance of 1. A little bit wavy looking.
Found a couple of hundreds in the start, and gave away a bunch more by the 0 kick.
Yeah. It's looking just like a little bit of a loose setup, which could be good here. We've seen people win the race on loose setups. So he's got top speed. So
wow.
He's this reminds me of Trecherkov a few years ago on a race I called. The same thing, just looked a little bit loose the whole way down, but it was fast, carried speed.
Going out to 6,500s up over Rasmus Johansson. It's a massive margin.
Yeah, top speed.
It was under 2/10 in the first heat, so suddenly their setup has come alive.
Yeah, so this is the kind of track where it does reward an aggressive aggressive setup. Basically a very low grip setup where you just rely on the slider's instincts to keep the sled going straight.
Let it fly.
So he had like a quick karate kick when he came out of the groove, because when the groove tried to pull him to the right. So just right there, and it stopped the sled dead. Like, it was perfect.
All right, good bottom part of the track from Chen Wen-hao.
Yeah.
Comes down 6/10 over Rasmus Johansson. And he had 1500s from the first heat. That's a big run, 57.36. That would have left him in the top 7 in the first heat. Next up, Mattia Gaspari. Mattia started 5:08 in the first heat, 24th in the field of 30, but came down 10 places better. He definitely outdrives his start.
All day, every day, every track. Like, oh, that's a bit of a skid. Even with that skid, he's still going to outdrive his start. He's a great slider.
Yeah.
Like, all around. He's one of the few people that will just, like, see other people using a toe. Everybody else in the field will use a toe in a curve and be like, nah, I don't need it. Just does the steer with his knees. Looking pretty smooth so far.
Yeah.
He's just way back.
Picks up gold stars all the way down, building his speed, 3rd best speed in the Kreisel. But he is still 3rd on the splits, losing more ground to Chen. He's going to be behind Rasmus Johansson and Kim Ji-soo at this stage. Needs to drag it back. Second at the line, but Chen's going to be rising up the order like a cork. 57.80, half a second slower than Chen.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't really look like he was struggling too hard, but the speed just wasn't there after Kreisel.
And that would still have been fast enough for 12th in the first heat rather than 14th where he ended up. But the speed early on is the issue.
The struggle, this struggle in 0 to 1.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is curve 11, just gets a little bit, he didn't really get high per se, it was still well within tolerances. Yeah. That's the deal for today, just put yourself in position to do something magical tomorrow.
Yeah, try not to really drop a cataclysmic bomb on your chances. Vladislav Hereskevich, our 2nd Ukrainian slider in the field.
He had quite the slide on his first run. So hopefully he can do it again.
We started 22nd fastest in the field of 30, came down in 12th.
Yeah, wow. 10 spots on a World Cup field is huge, or World Championships field.
And he is tied for 12th with USA's Austin Florian as well. So there's a battle there just to break the heat, never mind, or the dead heat, never mind what everybody else does. Now, 12th fastest start so far, 6th best velocity.
Yeah.
I mean, that's his ability to get that mass onto the sled and that velocity into the sled.
He's not loading sideways. He's not smashing the groove with his body. He's getting the energy forward.
That's astonishing. Best speed into the Kreisel.
Good speed. Let's see him go.
And he does drive this track like a German slider. Just gets faster and faster and faster. 2417. He could take the lead from Chen here.
I think he probably will.
Super smooth lines.
Might be overdrive. Nah, I still got top speed.
Best speed of all was 1200s back. He won't make it at the line. He doesn't, but he is so close.
Right there.
Yeah, Piccolo, 57.50. Not sure what the Ukrainian is, well, even for hello or goodbye, so I've got no clue what a tiny smidgen is, but that is a tiny smidgen. And he'll be disappointed to have dropped even one spot. He's just looking at moving up.
Yeah. It was still a pretty nice drive.
Run. Yeah.
I couldn't really find much to fault him on there. Like, maybe just a touch early to Kreisel, but...
Well, that is so far.
Maybe just a little bit loose from 0 to 1, but...
10th fastest run of the competition. And only Chen Wen-hao has gone quicker in this second heat. So Chen the leader by 200s. So again, we're looking at that proximity where they're so tied together, you're going to beat them both or lose to them both. So we've got double jeopardy now for Austin Florian. 3rd fastest start in the first heat, 483. We've already seen quicker starts in the second. 85, 485.
Yeah, he's been pushing like a monster this year.
Absolutely.
He really has. And I was talking to him earlier this week, and he said he's feeling really good. So
Yeah.
it makes sense. Weird.
And when you're worrying that you don't have to start, then everything else is a bit more of a threat. When you've got to start, then, you know, his coach Matt Antoine will give you chapter and verse on this. When his start went away, suddenly everything became a lot harder.
Yeah. And Matt was one of the best line sliders I'd ever seen. Super smooth everywhere, building speed constantly.
6th best speed only into the red behind Chen. And that means basically going to drop 2 behind Heraskevich as well.
The lines looked pretty okay at the top of the track. It just looked like he was tight. Maybe not tight, maybe struggling a little bit for lines.
Oh, only the 8th best speed. Would say possibly run a setup, not working well in the second heat. 57.64. Still nearly 2/10 quicker than his first heat, but not enough to keep him up. So he does drop 2, 1600ths off the lead with the fastest 11 sleds to go.
He's got that beard hanging out the bottom of the helmet again. Just run the buzzer along the bottom of the
Can't
the
be good for
helmet.
aerodynamics, but you know, he's starting
It's probably not bad actually. Now that I think of it,
mind you, he's probably sweeping a bit of the track. It's
yeah,
probably
he's
full
just
of
being
water.
a nice
and ice.
guy, watching setting up the track for everybody else.
Great job with the track.
Well, they're doing what they can in the weather. It is an outdoor sport. It is the winter. Sometimes it snows. Sometimes it really doesn't.
Yeah.
Today's one of them. Sammy Meyer next up for Austria. 18th fastest at the start, 11th at the bottom. Another man who outdrives his start as an occupational pastime.
Yeah, he's one of the best gliders in the world right now. Over the past few years, he's actually been one of the best gliders.
All right, 499 finds a couple of hundreds at the start.
Struggling a bit from 0 to 1. I like this entry of 2, though.
Third best
Maybe he
speed.
doesn't. I don't know. For
Third
me,
best speed, 5th best start. So building that velocity. And this needs to be a good run from Sammy Meyer because Chen was building speed all the way down and Sammy needs to do exactly the same. Still within spitting distance, 3rd best speed.
Yeah, he's looking pretty smooth. It's just not quite. That just doesn't. So to my eye, it just doesn't look like he's building speed. Like you don't really see him getting the pop out of the curves, or he's not that far offline. He's just missing something small. He's not losing too much though.
No, 1200s back, but still 200s first to second. Austin Florian, 1600s back. He's still in 3rd, not 4th. 57.65, so 100th quicker than Florian. But Chen Wenhao moving up, threatening a top 10.
Yeah.
I think Chen's second heat, 57.36, 6/10 better than he managed nearly in the first heat. That's a big turnaround. That's a big change-up.
Yeah.
You know, if he was 3/10 quicker in the first heat, 57.60,
Yeah, no,
he'd have
I mean,
been 9th, not 15th.
Yeah,
for
no,
him,
it's massive.
Yeah.
At this point, you're just trying to get position for tomorrow for that.
assault on the
For
top
the-
6.
yeah,
exactly.
for that-
You know,
that first
if
run.
he ends up 9th or 10th overnight, he could go top 6 in the heat 3.
I think starting position for run 3 is going to be pretty important.
Yeah. Chen Wenhao leads as we get to our fastest 10. So, a little bit of orange in the crowd this morning for the Netherlands. Kimberly Bosch, a little bit of orange in the crowd today. The Axel Jung fan club are here in force. They're at the start for the first heat. They're at the bottom for the second. Can their boy do something special here? Not his home track, Altenburg is, but he's always got good results here as well.
I mean, from what I hear, he went under the track record a few weeks ago during their team selection race. So he can do some pretty amazing things on this track.
All right, 496 start, 5th quickest so far. So 1200s down to 600s because Chen started pretty decently as well with 485.
Quite like this entrance.
Okay, stop the bleeding. Here we go. Now to turn it around. Out of the Kreisel, he needs to really start hitting the big speeds.
Yeah, looking a little bit early there. Oh, the speed's gone. Not gone, but you know, I mean, the track is going away.
Yeah.
So he just needs to stay close enough.
Well, Chen was not the fastest down here. Vladislav Heraskevich has the fastest numbers all the way down, which will please him enormously. At the line, he is in front. Yeah, 57.44 compared to 57.71. There's the Junk fan club. 57.44. That was just a whisker off 7th in the first heat, 57.40. And that, again, you know, 7th compared to 10th. You know, I'm stating this, staring the obvious here, you're 3 places closer to the medals.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely true. So he had a good slide.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can actually see a little curve in that right at the end of that left groove.
Little bit of work going on there with a bit of paddling
early.
down
It just
to
takes
the...
a touch on the entrance to 9.
Yeah.
But he just handles it like he's got lots of runs on this track, strangely enough.
Well, more of a smile than after the
Yeah.
first heat, that's for sure. He was not a fan of his first heat. He would happily have been that. So, into the top 9 after run 1. What about Jung Seung-gui from Korea? Bronze medalist in Samoritz a year ago. What's he got for us? Well, he's got a quick start for sure. 4:79 equals the fastest of the competition.
A little too early to 0, hit the wall, and he had skids in 3 different directions on his way between 0 and 1. We're going to look to probably see that gap coming down after a couple spots.
Yeah,
when it actually starts showing. Yeah.
Already down from 2500s to 1900s.
Yeah,
and so
math is hard, guys.
oh,
too early.
oof.
Wait, that's too early to 6. Its speed's just absolutely gone. Yeah.
Wow.
That's
and
rough.
that is the slowest speed into the Kreisel. That is the slowest speed now. And this is now last year's bronze medalist in the World Championships, absolutely in free fall. He could lose 10 spots.
Yeah, this is not a good one.
And that's the jeopardy. In the end, he loses 7 and drops. Oh, that is baby Axel on his mum. It's his mum's birthday. He's wishing a happy birthday. Oh, happy birthday from us. What a great photo as well. Well, a much changed Axel Jung after the first heat.
You know what? The first heat, he probably just intentionally wasn't so good, so that way this run
More time in the leader's box.
In the leader's box, so he gets, yeah.
Yeah, no, he'll take the lead. I'll take no time in the leader's box whatsoever.
No, that's that just early entrance of 0, and then he's skid, more skid.
And again,
it's unfortunate. It's very easy to do. I'm criticizing him.
No, you're just pointing out what happened.
And then just too early to 4, get bumped away.
And he's going to beat himself up much more than you ever will. So, all right, Axel Jung leads. Yan Wengang next up, 8th fastest in the first heat. And by the way, the Jung Seung-gui free fall stopped just before he got down to Kim Ji-soo. They are 100th apart, 8th and 9th. So the ripcord really didn't work there. Running on the right of his sled as he comes down in that groove, and again that puts a different impetus into the sled when you're loading, but 494 is a decent start.
He's drifting a little, not drifting, like he's just moving side to side a little bit, but he kept the runners pointed straight, which is important between 0 and 1.
Right, 2100s up on Jung, down to 16. I think that second heat is going to keep Axel in the leader's box. Another 2 or 3 sleds. We're in a tight bunch here.
Too early to 5. He's going to have too much height there at the end. Too early to 6. And too much crossing.
His 2/10 advantage from the first heat and his quicker start, he's burned them already by the Kreisel.
Yeah, this is just a little, just a little bit off everywhere.
And this is not the track. These are driving errors that you're pointing out as he goes down.
Yeah, I mean, some of it is the track, right? You can get away with a lot more when the track is nicer, but this is mostly driver error.
Yeah. He's going to drop half a dozen spots down to 6th place, 100th ahead of Mattia Gaspari. Okay, interesting times. That is a Chinese curse. May you live in interesting times. Interesting not necessarily being a good thing.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's...
Oh, hello.
Sounds like there's some hard rain going on.
Are you picking that up on the microphones? Yes, it is rattling off the roof of our commentary box. Yeah. Yeah, so suddenly the rain returns. Now, most of the tracks we talked about, it's covered, but In that run down to the 0 curve and curve 1, it's very open.
Yeah, between the start and curve 0, there's no roof. And also the wind is blowing in a direction that blows past. They dug a gutter into the track, to the ice. They cut a gutter in. But the wind is actually blowing the rain so that it lands past the edge of the roof.
The wind habitually blows straight up the start ramp into your face, doesn't it? Let's see if that slows down Yin Cheng. 2 race wins in the last 2 outings in the BMW IBSF World Cup. Let's see if he can improve here. 485.
Touch early, but it's actually, there's a strategy to go really early and bounce off like that. So,
well, less of a disaster than his teammates, that's for sure. Still has a handy lead over Axel Jung and building it.
Yeah, no, I like that entrance at 5.
4,200's up to 4,800's up, but it's coming down. Oh, hello.
Late entrance cries.
Oh, big first wave. And that means you have to turn the sled harder, covering more ice as well.
Yeah, it looked like he
13th
was
speed.
on the exit cries. It looked like he kind of forced the line to happen.
Oh, he could drop behind Chen into 3rd place here. I don't think, maybe he's got enough to hang on in front of Axel Jung.
Speed's coming back up, but still.
Going to be close, but he should have it. He does have it. 57.63, 12 hundredths of a second up, as you hear from our track announcer, Willie Villman. All right, dug the fat out of the fire there, didn't he?
Yeah. So he made a couple of mistakes, but he recovered well.
Half of the noise at the bottom is applause,
yeah,
the other
was
half is rain on the mic. Yeah, that's a big skid there.
Yeah. He scrubs a lot of speed, so there's a lot of potential left in his run for tomorrow if he can clean this up.
Well, there's always potential.
Yeah, I guess, yeah, unless you're perfect.
Whether you can tap into it or not is, yeah. There'd be loads of potential if I was at the top. Whether I could find any of it would be very much a moot point.
Fair enough.
All right, 6 to go. And Yin Cheng has the lead. Next up, Marcus Wyatt. His family are down there in the rain, getting soaked. But the glue line's helping keeping them warm. Let's see what he's got. And what he did have was 1100s in hand over Yin Cheng. And a quick start, 487 first heat.
87.
And relatively clean.
Yeah. A little bit of a skid between 0 and 1 there. A little bit late into 2. So a little bit wavy.
Yin was good down the bottom, so Marcus needs to have speed coming out of the Kreisel. The gap's down to almost nothing out of 5.
Maybe a little bit of skid there into 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's just kind of trying to fight for some entrances.
Oh, and their speed has vanished.
Just scrubs all your speed.
Now he's coming back level. Now he is coming back level.
Wow.
All right.
He's hanging in there.
This is going to be very close indeed for Marcus Wyatt. 500s back.
But if he's a little bit, has a little bit of a smoother line in 14, you can make up quite a lot.
Out of the line. Okay, the speed did not lie in the end. 57.88, so 1,500 slower than Yin Cheng on that run. And that drops him behind into 3rd spot. Again, Yin Cheng and Axel Jung are 1,200s apart, so Axel continues to move up. With 5 to go, that means Axel will be no worse than 7th overnight. There's the family and the smile from Marcus. The hooligans are down there.
It looked like he was just fighting a little bit too hard. I mean, here you have to fight because the groove is doing terrible things right now.
Yeah.
But other places down the track, he's just... other places down the track, he's just fighting a little bit too much for entrances. I mean, he's easily a good enough slider that he can just take the entrance and fix it.
All right, Yin Cheng leads. Fastest 5 to come, and then our remaining 5. And in the fastest 5, the top 2 from last year's World Championships. Silver medalist in St. Moritz in February, Amadeo Banyas. 1,200s his advantage over Yin of China.
480.
The rain roaring off the roof.
It is It's absolutely pouring out
It
there.
is throwing it down now.
Yeah, I mean, in some ways, it's kind of good because at least the track is staying wet. Like it's not actually, it can't really frost in the straightaways at least. On the curves, it's growing frost.
Yeah. All right, 1500s still in hand.
Too early to
1400s. Speed is not going to be great for the remaining session. It'll be really interesting to see
You
what Christopher
really-
Grote here hits in terms of speed numbers.
Yeah, you really need to be a little bit of a skid there. You need to be really clean to even have top 10 speeds at this point.
Fastest sled so far, 7 sliders ago, was Vladislav Heraskevich. 400s in it. Not enough in the bank. Surely he's not going to make it at the line. No, he doesn't. Yin leads 57.80. Again, 1700 slower than Yin Cheng. So whatever he had at the start, his first heat advantage, not enough to hold on. The track, I think, is in terminal and mortal decline.
Yeah, we've reached kind of the breakover point where the frost in the curves is just...
Yeah, this is in racing terms slicks to wets. Now you pit for wets, but it's too late. It was 4 or 5 sliders ago where the changeover happened. And you could really hear it when the rain started
just a
happening.
little too early to curve 1 here.
And again, so much
Once you
water
you get
running
height,
down that
and then
hill
you
there.
come very late into curve 2 as a result.
And he's just aquaplaning there.
Yeah.
He's putting in the same
You
steer.
just
and
try to
it's-
keep it straight and take whatever entrance you get to 1 at that point.
It's having no effect.
Yeah.
All right, the rain is winning. Fastest 4 to go. And Craig Thompson of Great Britain with a really strong first heat. 1300s in hand over Yin Cheng. Is Yin going to be the overnight leader? Is he going to win his 3rd race in a row after 2 World Cups? 486 for Craig. He's certainly blasting it out of the blocks.
Yeah, it's 2 big skids. Yeah, and there it's...
9th best speed. Gap was 12. It'll be 0 at the next clock. 200s.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yours doesn't matter.
All right. From now on, it's a dead heat, but he's got less speed
A
on
little
board.
bit late for 5.
He needs to be super clean down here.
Too early to Kreisel.
Speeds are low, as they have been for everybody.
Yeah.
Top 4 are covered by only 1400s. This is a potential drop of 4 spots.
Yeah, the thing is, when it starts getting slow like this, it messes with your timing. Things don't feel natural. You pick up your head to see where you are because things just don't feel right.
Cross the line, 5th place. Yeah, 58.02. I'm afraid the last few sliders are finding that their world is being turned upside down by this cloudburst.
I still think that you can be reasonably fast if you're perfect.
Come on, Craigie. Do you know what? You know, it's really nice for everybody. If you've had a bad day, but everybody is full of fun and enjoyment, puts the smile back on your face.
Skidding into 0 and then comes off, breaks a skid this way, breaks a skid the other way. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's brutal.
And there's no speed to be found further down, or at least there doesn't seem to be. We've got another 3 sleds in our top order to go. Let's see what we can find. Felix Kaisinger, he will start strongly, somewhere in the top half dozen probably, should know how to get speed out of this track. 487 first heat, he was 100th quicker than Craig Thompson. And he has a handy advantage
85.
over Yin Cheng of
A little bit faster.
2600s.
Oh, look at that. Pretty clean. Maybe a slight skid. I mean, 1 skid and then a little guy, but with as wet as it is right now, that's about the best we've seen anybody do.
Yeah. 1800, so his gap has nearly halved over Yin Cheng.
This is looking pretty smooth. We'll see what the speed looks like. And it's still coming down. 18th.
And 18th, slower than anybody so far, almost.
Yeah.
I mean, he is the 23rd slider and he's the 18th speed. You know, this is a rookie, but it's not a rookie. 20th speed, only 2 sleds slower than the 3rd place man in the first heat. 600's back. He's not going to get there, is he?
No.
He's just not.
Let's see how much he loses. Yeah, I mean,
Another
yeah.
10th.
Yeah. He kept the bleeding to a minimum, but it wasn't there.
That's nearly a second slower. 57.14 first heat, 58.06 second.
That's about what we saw for the first few guys off the top.
Yeah.
About a second faster, second slower. So it's,
you know, a phenomenal 2-second change in the speed of the track.
I almost feel like the guys in the middle of the field are best off because at least they have kind of consistent timing, consistent ice.
Least difference, yeah. Yin is going to lead overnight, isn't he? Actually, he's not, because Casey here was 38 hundredths off the lead, so that's another big difference. Yeah, Yin Cheng was 61 hundredths behind Matt Weston, the reigning world champion. Said feels different coming into this weekend because they're chasing him. He's got the big target on his back, but he responds to pressure really well. He's a very chilled slider.
Yeah, but he's got the right kind of confidence.
Yep. And he can brush off the disappointment as well.
He's got excellent velocity.
Excellent start. 486, only the 8th quickest starter, but the best velocity. 6,300 hundredths up.
This is looking pretty tidy so far.
Okay, into 5. What's the gap? 6,900. So he's building speed. And 6th, not 16th.
Literally 10 spots. This is what I was talking about, where I think the speed is still there. You got to be on the right lines. You got to be confident.
Tap away into 9. Again, who hasn't?
Making sense.
10th best speed. Still going to lead at the line. Wow. 7,300 up, 125 kilometers an hour. That's some of the best speed we've seen in a long while. And a 6,900s lead, 57.55. There's his dad.
That was a great run.
His mum and dad are there as ever. Their plan is to go to every race this year. Yes.
Yeah.
That was a great one. I mean, woeful in terms of pace compared to the first heat. 56.79 compared to 57.55 in the second. But in these conditions...
Yeah, absolutely. Like, he maintained. Like, how do I phrase this? Despite the slower ice,
he is making the very best of a bad job.
Yes, that's a good way to phrase it.
I mean, you know, he's been handed a dreadfully slow track, and he's made it look like an acceptably off-pace track. What can Christopher Grohead do? Again, 300s is advantage from the first. Basically, it's a dead heat, so heat one doesn't count.
And the last guy did great.
Yeah, they're even again.
So there's a bit of pressure on this.
Yeah, but he's led going into the final heat of the World Championships twice, and in the Olympic Games. I mean, and in the Olympic Games.
I mean, yeah. If anybody can handle it, it's him.
Well, he does not start fast, but he does build speed. 494. It's only actually 800 slower than Matt. Yeah.
So
his start is getting faster and faster.
0 to 1 was good. It's looking very nice so far. This quiet, smooth.
No helmet on the ice, no toes dragging. Again, this could be as close to a dead heat, same speed as Matt Weston, to be as close to a dead heat as we had in the first run.
And a little bit of skid into 9. 9th speed instead of 10th.
There's going to be nothing in it overnight unless he makes a cataclysmic error. He could well close at the bottom. The sled looks quick. Here he comes.
Yeah, he's fifth
tied for the lead. 5th best speed, a whisker quicker. He's going to lead by 400s.
Yes. Keep in touch, keep in contact.
All right, and again, he's got the overnight lead, but again, realistically, day 1 doesn't count. Day 2, 2-heat race.
At least
it's a World Cup race.
They got their own race going on.
Yeah, they do. They really do. Because 3rd place, Yin Cheng, 7,300s back. Wow. Just wow. 2-time world champion leads 1-time world champion. They're the only world championship gold medalists in the field in the individual races, and the Olympic champion is ahead of a 1-time world champion. So, I mean, if you looked at it on merit, that's where they'd be.
Yeah.
On merit, Yin Ching, wow, 2 wins in the last 2 races.
Yeah, he's got great momentum right now.
What form he's got. 500s ahead of Amadeo Banyas last year, silver medalist, but I mean, they are racked up so tight behind.
I mean, the best in the world are the best in
Yeah.
the world, everywhere, all the time.
Right, top 25 have gone. Now, Timon Drahanovsky.
He's gonna have to struggle a lot to get back.
He is going to struggle. Now, if they'd gone 30 down to 1, he'd stand a chance because he's less than a 10th out of the top
This
group.
just shows how well those last 2 guys were driving at the top.
Well, and he's also starting 4/10 slower.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing.
Yeah.
But I meant in terms of like the skids, and you can see the
And,
waves too.
and knowing they're going to happen
Late
and being able to deal with them as they are happening rather than when they have happened.
Yeah, no, it's actually I kind of like this format because you can see someone that's young,
Yes.
newer in their career,
Yeah.
immediately against one of the best in the world, and you can really see the difference.
And it's great because normally we go all the way through, and as tomorrow we'll start with the fastest and end up with the slowest, and you don't have that direct comparison, but
Yeah,
here you really do.
yeah.
But his target is to catch 25th place Adrian Rodriguez of Spain,
Yeah.
and at the moment he is dropping back nearly a second. In fact, 1.3 seconds back.
Yeah, and everything we just said, like comparing him to the best and all that stuff. Don't get me wrong. If you think you're better than Timon, you're not. Just if you want to jump on a sled, you can try, but he's gonna
Well,
kick your
boy,
butt every day.
all you'll hear if you mic up a rookie here is ow, ooh, ow, ooh, all the way down as you just bounce from wall, literally all the way down for the entire 1,500 meters, bouncing from wall to wall. If you stay on the sled. Am I
if
wrong?
you stay conscious.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So
I mean,
yeah, no, he's just having. It's a little bit difficult. Like
but
he's got to deal with frost into wet, back into
Yeah.
frost. The sled is handling differently depending on the
he
two
will
surfaces.
be back in a team contest.
Yep.
A Kwasi Frimpong for Ghana. 20th best start. There's the family.
Yeah.
His mum, his sister, and the kids. They're all here. I know his wife will be watching. I'm sure his girls are up as well. What's the time? Sort of, yeah, it is at lunchtime back in, well, probably not quite lunchtime in Park City.
What is that? 8 time zones.
5:06.
Whoa! He's having quite the.
And again,
struggle.
first time ever on this track. And even on Monday in the second day of training, it was not this wet.
No.
It was
Zero-
wet, but it was not this wet.
Zero's terrible on
Yeah.
the best conditions. So it's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, the groove is starting to look a little bit sketchy at the top that everybody's pushing in. It's kind of melting out, so hopefully these guys don't run into any issues there.
So Ana Torres Rivero of Spain popped the groove on her second start. Nobody has yet in the first heat, and I wish I hadn't said that now.
Yeah, that's
In
why I
the men's
avoided saying. I
competition.
just kind
Yeah,
of
no,
trailed
you
off instead of.
Well done. But for Kwasi, as I said in first heat, first time ever his mum has been at one of his competitions. When he was a kid sprinting in the Netherlands, she was working 3 jobs to keep them fed and watered. And never had the time. Now she gets to come and see him compete in a World Championships. And for Kwasi Frimpong, the 4th World Championships. Met him first in Koenigsegg back in 2017, 7 seasons ago.
Yeah, he's been grinding. Like
Yeah,
he's
he
been putting in
has.
the work. So
Self-funded. Yeah, got a lot going for him. If determination won golds, he'd be a multiple world champion, that's for sure.
100%.
And again, look, steering with the head and the shoulders, just leaning the sled. Come on, baby. Come on, baby.
Yeah, and with that said, he's been like this season. He's been making a lot of progress as a slider. So
There he is. There is the family.
Where's your dance squad? Where's your dance?
Bust out some dance moves. Well, we've got a few to go still. The second of our Ukrainian athletes, Yaroslav Lavrenyuk. 3 weeks ago, he was in the Youth Olympic Games in Korea, took the silver medal in youth skeleton, and here he is in the World Championships as a senior, if 16 can be counted as a senior. Yeah.
no, he's got quite the career ahead of him.
Just 16 as well.
Yeah.
In the 11th of February, so he's just turned 16. Here he is, 5:21 getaway.
looking nice and smooth and relaxed.
Actually, much less rain at the moment. It's probably not going to speed the track up in any way, shape or form.
Well, a little high there at the exit of 5.
But it just makes it a bit less painful. You know,
Yeah, that's a fair point.
yeah, it's a bonus, isn't it?
Yeah, he's looking very relaxed.
Yep.
His lines are, I mean, that's pretty good entrance at 9.
And he and
That's a little bit early
Vladislav
on.
Heraskevich and Mikhail Heraskevich, their coach, they all work in the summer with the kids in Ukraine,
That's going to...
running
Okay.
sports camps in the stadiums there and just giving kids something. There is he across the line, 27th spot, a 60.50.
It's a bit rough. Bit rough this late ice for these guys.
But he's picked up a spot.
Yeah, he has. He's moving on up.
Yeah. He's got ahead of Quasi by 1700ths of a second. So there's, again, an entertaining... Wherever you are in this field, there is a battle in the 3rd and 4th heat. Well, it's certainly in the 3rd heat, because they're all going to be trying to get their best result.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and like I said, he looks relaxed. He doesn't panic when he gets offline. So it's just going to take some... It's just a matter of time with this guy before he takes off.
Yeah. 3 or 4 race weekends here, so he knows this track well. I mean, great place for him that the Worlds were here. And great that they brought him into this. Chang Chunhung of Chinese Taipei. Talked about this in the first heat. This is his 2nd World Championships. He made his debut back in Koenigsegg 2017, same year that we first saw a Quasi Frimpong, and has not competed at the world level since then. He's made his first full World Cup season this season.
Yeah. Yeah, he took a couple years off. I think he has a kid. So he's been doing other things in life, and now he decided
and also
to make a
actually
run.
sliding relatively consistently in North America as well, just not a lot of time in Europe.
Exactly, he just hasn't been doing the full European Tour World Cup.
And again, has never raced on this track before. So this is like with the Quasi. You spend 6 runs in training over 2 days learning not to crash.
Yeah.
And that's as much as you realistically can get out of it, trying not to crash.
Yes, it's very difficult.
Which sounds like I'm really denigrating them. I really genuinely am not. You know, it's so impossible to learn much more than that in the tiny time scale.
Yeah, I mean, it's 6 runs.
Yeah.
What else do you try to learn in six attempts at?
Yeah. Well, it's like telling Lewis Hamilton to start a Grand Prix after 6 laps of practice when everybody else has done hundreds.
And then, basically, here, you're going to do 6 laps, and then the way we're going to start it is a dead start.
Yeah.
And then you're going to be timed against everybody else.
Absolutely.
And you only practice flying laps. You didn't practice. It's like...
Absolutely so. So 60.81, highly respectable run. Again, that was a little quicker than a Quasi Frimpong, so he edges up closer. It's now 3,600s, 3,400s behind a Quasi. So again, there's a possibility that he could maybe move up a spot.
You can really see it against his visor there.
Yeah. Not something you really want in ice sliding,
No.
is it?
So actually, something
To be canoeing?
that's very rewarding is like when you get the droplets on your lens and you finally get to a fast enough part in the track where the droplets start running off the visor. You feel extra fast. But,
It's like you're hitting warp drive.
yeah.
All right, final slider is Poland's debutant Władysław Poliwacz, 22 years old. He's been racing here, though, for 6 seasons.
The sled tried to kick out on him.
Yo.
That start. Whoa.
And again, look at the water
Just
streaming down the hill.
Struggling into curve 1. No velocity.
Well, not a slow start, 5:24. Not too bad at this stage of his development. And a first ever World Championship start. It's all about gaining experience, isn't it?
Yeah, rough conditions, but it is about gaining experience at this stage.
Yep.
Skid into 6. I like the entrance to 7.
There's that old thing about if you race the best, you're learning from the best, and that's all about setting your sights high.
So there was a thing when I was in the American program where if one of my teammates had jumped me and they got up to World Cup, I never caught them again. Like racing against the best just made them so much better. So while it may be a little bit embarrassing, you may feel bad about yourself when you're starting out, that you have to be here if you want to get be the best.
Even Francesco Frigic looks at where he's been and where he's come from as much as where he's targeting, because when you're the very best, you've still made that journey. You were still hopeless and lucky to get down in one piece the first few times you slid.
Yeah.
And every time you do it, you learn a little bit more, and the jigsaw puzzle hopefully comes together and you piece it together. And everybody starts with no knowledge. And that's the leveling factor. And how far along the journey you can take it, that's entirely unrelated to anybody else. It's purely yourself.
Your ability to deal with it and grind through the
absolutely
through the years
100%. You are totally in charge of your own destiny. Well, there you go. Vladislav Polivat brings our second heat to its conclusion. And if we had a tight heat in the first race, or tight race after the first heat, we have a tight race after the second. The two-time world champion, the reigning Olympic champion, Christopher Groothair, leads the defending world champion by the tiny amount of 400ths of a second. He had 300s in hand after the first heat, effectively overnight. It is still a dead heat, and the weather will probably have something to say in the conclusion. So, good stuff from Christopher Groothair and Matt Weston. They made it look like there was not much wrong with the track. There was a lot slow in the track. Yincheng bounces up to third place. He started this heat in 7th. Axel Jung from what was 10th or 11th, Axel 10th, up to 5th position. So there were definitely some snakes and roundabouts in that. If you could somehow navigate your way down through the wet, then you had a chance of moving up the order, and maybe just by limiting the errors. And there's the bottom of the top 20 in the third heat tomorrow. We start with the fastest slider first. Vladislav Polivat will go last, and then the fastest 25 go through into the final 4th heat. Well, wind's picking up. Is there a front coming through? If there is, what's it going to bring for tomorrow? There's only one way to find out. You'll have to join us tomorrow to discover what the weather brings us, what the weather gods have in store, and who is going to end up with the gold medal around their neck. Right now, if you were measuring it in meters, Christopher Groothair is probably about a body length ahead of Matt Weston.
I would say so, yeah. It's close.
That's how close it is. Oh, no, go through the car wash. How appropriate. Well, that's it for today. My thanks to Mihai Pacianu and to Mike Rogels. They'll be joining me again tomorrow. The women will be on ice at 12:11 GMT. We'll see you there tomorrow. The men are back at 1600. Let's hope for a dry day. See you then. Bye for now.
Great job with the track.
I'll get down, and then you've got some light. Ready, ready?
Ready when you are.
Christopher Groothair, overnight leader. Tell us about today, apart from the rain.
Yeah, today it was not so easy, difficult conditions. Sometimes a little bit slippery, and sometimes a lot of snow on the track.